Hey everybody, and thanks for joining me, and welcome to this reading for 2017. Happy New Year, and I hope you're doing well. This is just a general introduction to show you what cards I'm using to do the reading for you. So this is your general overview for 2017. This is the same reading I've always done. This year I'm going to use the Osho Zen Tarot. I'm also going to use 3 oracle decks to supplement the messages in the Zen Tarot, the energy oracle cards, Earth Magic Oracle cards, and also the Enchanted Map Oracle. As a final little bonus, I've made these little token things. I don't know what to call them, with symbols on them, and they will give us extra information on what's going on in each part of the reading. So I will be using them just like runes. If you guys are interested in getting this reading with me, it's not available yet on my website, but look for it on Facebook, and I will make an announcement on the channel if when it is available, and definitely in the live show at 8 a.m. every day. I always forget. Anyway, I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for this general preview for 2017. And Happy New Year. I hope this is the best year of your life. I hope you get everything that you want and more. Best of luck to you and your family. Lots of health, success, and happiness. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey Leo, and thank you for joining me today, and welcome to this reading for 2017. So Happy New Year, everybody. This is true for Leo Sun, Moon, and Rising. Just as a little side note, these readings are running really long, so I'm actually in the process of possibly dividing them. I'm not sure yet, because if it's an hour, it might be too long for YouTube. Anyway, so we're doing the full arcana reading as always, and we have 3 oracle cards to guide us along the way. So this is a little bit different than previous years in that I'm using a couple oracles. They're working really well, actually. I think, I don't know what sign, is it Cancer or Geminis? It was all about the moon, and it was really cool because all the cards pulled for the moon. So it looked like the moon was everywhere in that reading. It was beautiful. So here is your next your first oracle card and first message. We have the Gentle Gardener. So this is the act of cultivating something and bringing it into fruition. We see 3 little fairies being born, and as Mother Nature or some entity is protecting it. But the archetype of this is quite beautiful. The natural understanding that in order to create something, you have to have a gentle touch. You can't force things into creation, and that you can actually produce wonderful things this year if you approach things in a careful manner. We start off the year actually with a huge stellium in your 8th house. The 8th house is all about death and regeneration, and so in the 8th house we have Neptune and Chiron, another year, so more of the same as last year, Leo, and you're really getting an opportunity to heal that house. So I hope that you enjoy the energy within that, or with that. The next message is, so here we have a woman holding a heart. Now that's very naturally attuned to your energy, Leo. I mean, you live with the heart on your sleeve. You are the sign that is unafraid of showing your heart chakra to the world. Woman holding a heart can also signify that you or somebody else, a female, is offering their love during this year. So I think that there is a very loving energy that is coming out immediately at the beginning of the reading, and I think that it's foreshadowing some love in your life, and a lot of care and nurture, all types of love. Now, if you date women, then maybe a woman is offering her love to you, or if you are the woman in the picture, then maybe you will be offering your love. The next card is from the Earth Magic. I love this card. This is Breach Whale, which means that the whale has gone out of its environment. So for whatever reason, the oracle cards are encouraging you to break the typical course of action that you would normally take on in your life. Go outside of your comfort zone. Try something different. Be daring and dashing. Okay? So these cards together signify that it's important for you to approach things in a slightly different way. I do think that very possibly either you have a secret admirer or somebody is your secret admirer, in which case you need to be very gentle and cautious with their heart so as not to hurt them, and so as to actually allow the love to blossom between the both of you. There's also a huge encouragement on you to push hard and try to experience alternate realities. So that's the message from the breech whale. The whale jumps out of the water into a reality that it'll never know. You kind of think about all this marine life. They live in the ocean or the lakes. They'll never realize what's actually here. Have you ever thought about fish and whatever marine life, sea life? They don't know that we have trees, I guess they suspect we have trees when they fall in the water, but they don't know the earth like we do, you know? Just like we don't know the oceans like they do, I suppose. But it's that whole differing perspective and allowing a different perspective into your life, right? And so it's a very powerful and kind of exciting set of messages to get right off at the beginning of the reading. At the center of the reading, we have a core card. And so here we have breakthrough. Now, breakthrough is Libra, justice. And so this says that fairness is coming into your life. Jupiter is in your 3rd house this year until it reaches the 4th house in October. But Jupiter is in Libra in the 3rd house, and Jupiter is associated with fairness. Now, 3rd house has a lot to do with communication, Leo. So if there's been anything that has happened in your life that has set you back with regard to how you communicate, or with regard to communications that have been written about you, this is the time when you're going to see fairness come into play. Breakthrough also means that you are having a personal breakthrough of balance. So you're reattaining balance. The general flow of your life is towards balance, whether it's a healthy balance between food and drink, between house and home. Between house and home, between work and home, between social activities and responsibilities. There's a general sense of equilibrium that you're achieving. So here are little tokens that I made. There's about 60 in here, so I can't show you them, but they're all like this. So I'm using them as clarifiers. So we have your sign. I didn't look, trust me. So we have your sign as the central core theme of this year. So you are really within yourself, and I feel that vibrant Leo energy coming through. We have the Queen with the heart. We have you coming through, being yourself, showing who you are to the world. And so the Leo energy is benevolent, it's caring, it's nurturing. You're able to help others. Also, you are able to be yourself so much so that you can experience other environments, other circumstances around you. The card that is crossing the breakthrough card, don't mind that I always turn that one upside down. So this is the Chariot card, awareness. So let's let that focus a little bit so you get a good look. So the Chariot card governs the sign of Cancer, and it represents overcoming. And I feel right away when I started doing this reading for you today, I'm really picking up on the energy of the general sense of freedom, liberation, hope, expectation, and just a breakthrough coming through, just like this card is called. So I think that there's been some latent energies that have held you back for quite some time, and now it's time for you to try and push forward on whatever it is that you want to do. If you're making applications, please fill your applications after January 8th, because you have that retrograde Mercury until then. But applications for grants, applications for study, application for things that you want to fulfill, those things are in your favor until October 10th. And so you want to make sure that you pursue those activities. I see for some of you traveling and going to various different locations, maybe possibly exploring a different part of the world, maybe participating in some type of retreat, some type of activity. All these things combine to your increased awareness, breaking through your own glass ceiling, breaking through your own molds. The Chariot here is transformative. This is a card of God. This is you overcoming those things that have held you back so long, and now you are pushing forward in new directions unapologetically. So there's no holding back. There's no holding you back this year. You're reaching towards love, to new horizons, to new vistas. You're really being daring and dashing, and love is at the forefront of 2017 for you. The token that I have for the Chariot card, so we have Mars. So I feel that Martian energy. I hope you can hear it in my voice. We start off the year with Mars and Pisces. So actually in conjunct Neptune. So we have this powerful combination to do with activating dreams, putting dreams into reality, pushing forward in ways that we have never thought we would before. So there's this kind of fearlessness, there's this kind of daring that you are embarking upon to activate your inner awareness and connect it with the world. Now, this card does cross the Justice card, or the Balance card, the Breakthrough card. This can signify that the things that you are trying to pursue this year are in some way going to stand in the way of the balance that you are attaining. So you have to make sure that you cultivate balance within the things that you are pursuing, especially love, especially getting into new environments, and trying to sustain some type of equilibrium in your life. The next message is your general social environment for 2016. So here we have aloneness. Now this isn't loneliness. Please be sure to take note of that. This is the Hermit card. And the Hermit card is never alone. The Hermit is basically has decided to pursue something. They have an idea in their mind, and they choose to be alone in order to actualize whatever belief or decision that they've taken on. So the aloneness card coincides with Virgo, and so therefore Virgo people might be in your social environment a lot. You might actually be surrounded by people a lot this year. If you are surrounded by people, then most likely you will have a certain degree of autonomy within that group. You'll feel alone within a group, but not in a negative sense. It means that if you're out with friends for dinner, you will be the one first ready to go. Not that you don't like the company you keep, more so that you're thinking about the next wonderful project that you want to do in your home or private environment. So here is the next card. This is integration, and so this is the card of Sagittarius. It represents art and temperance. So I feel as though a lot of your connections this year have to do with art and creativity. I also feel that a lot of your connections with other people will represent you combining various things to produce new outcomes. So this can be, the purpose of your friendships could be to eliminate negativity, could be such as support groups. The purpose of this activity could be to do some kind of protesting to stand against an injustice. This can also be productive or constructive, such as putting on a play, making something creative, synthesizing or creating even a new project. So if you're working in an office, you could find yourself in lots of think tanks, lots of groups, and working even in off time on projects and combining forces with others to produce new outcomes or new products and tangible results. The next message is conditioning. So conditioning is the devil, and it also represents Capricorn, right? And so this is the point of structure, and I think that this is where you start feeling kind of alone amid other people. The people around you are great. I do think that lots of Sagittarian people will be in your life. Lots of Capricorn people will become very important for you. But you feel this general structure that you're all interacting within, that you find yourself unable to fully actualize what's going on inside. And so this is pretty normal. It's just saying basically not that the people are difficult, it's the situations in which you find yourself around people that are in some ways hard for you to navigate, and so you choose to be alone for a certain period of time because it seems to be easier than having to navigate those circumstances. And it's really about wasting time. You don't have time to waste. You feel really motivated. There's a lot going on for you, and so you want to make sure that you pursue those things and you're excited about them. The token that I see for you, for your social environment. Okay, so this is a symbol that represents the Wheel of the Year, so it's very similar to the Wheel of Fortune. So we have a couple references here to the third house. Communication is very important for you. I feel as a channeled message that the woman holding the heart has something to say, and I feel as though if you have someone that you love, that in some way you'll feel held back from speaking what you believe to be true about them. So you'll hold yourself back because of situation, possibly conditioning, circumstance, limitations, from actually saying what you want to say to that person. And you stand the risk of losing them in your life if you don't say what you intend to say to them. So it's important that you encourage the woman in your life that's holding the heart to speak her mind. If that's you, then please try to figure out a way to let that person know. I feel as though the energy around her is extremely positive. The energy is around her is very fresh and new, and in a certain sense your Holy Spirit up here is cultivating her newfound love, and the faster that you can help it grow, the faster that you can cultivate it and help it blossom, the better chance you stand of being able to reap the rewards. I know it's really outside of your comfort zone, and I know within this situation, and so in this situation you find yourself held back or restricted and maybe even possibly alone, but it's really important for you to remember this message that the faster that you open up, the faster that you speak your heart, the faster you will get the results that you are seeking. Okay? And this is a part of this card as well. On the one hand, you're trying to maintain balance, right? You're trying to be you. You're trying to ascend to your position. But on the other hand, there's the Chariot. And Chariot is a card of love as well. It's Cancer, yes, but it's also like high octave love associated with God, but then also romantic love as well. This is people overcoming their inhibitions and going after love with one another, truly. And so the next message is, so here we have the Star. It's also the card of silence. The Star represents soulmates and serendipity. This area of the reading represents your internal space. So this is your private space, the stuff that's going behind the scenes. This is the stuff that people don't necessarily see about you. In your private space, you are aligned with the direction that you need to go. And your alignment, Leo, is in fact that of love and projecting love into the world, including romantic love. Leo rules the fifth house. The fifth house is all about love. It's all about romantic love. It's about the things you want, what's in your heart, and about children. And so when you have that sign that rules the fifth house, not your fifth house, just typically on a regular standard wheel, then you are aligning yourself more closely than ever before with that modality, with that quality this year. So it's really about pursuing love, pursuing romantic relationships, having that romance, allowing that to come through. I think that certain people in your life will really facilitate that, but there's a warning here. There could be people, naysayers around you who are saying you can't do this, you can't do that. You still want to remember that for this year only, until the end of the year, Saturn is in your fifth house, so that's in Sagittarius. Now I know that's confusing. So when I say Leo rules the fifth house, on a standard wheel that's not set for your sign, Leo is the sign of the 5th house that rules the 5th house. But in your wheel, which is set to Leo as the ascendant, Saturn is in your 5th house in Sagittarius. So I hope that that makes sense. I can actually show you on a chart, and hopefully that can help you. So if I set the chart like you see here to Leo, Saturn is here in your 5th house. But if we set the wheel to the standard, just regular setup, we see that Leo here is the ruler of the 5th house. So this is the unadjusted standard set for astrology. So I hope that makes sense. Watch my morning vlogs if it isn't clear, because I talk about that a lot there. Anyway, so because your natural attunement is to love, then when you are really hitting your mark, when you're really in balance, you are working within the modality of love unlike any other sign, romantic love in particular, and romance in children, and just cultivating hedonism. I love the word hedonism. It's about going after what is in your heart, right? And you are going after for what's in your heart, so much so that you're breaking through into other realms and other possibilities, right? And this alignment is happening for you internally here with the star. This is a confirmation that the direction that you are taking is the one that you're meant to take. And so therefore you don't have to try so hard. You have this confidence within you that the path that you are taking, the path that you are on, is the one that is meant for you. The modifiers for the star. So we have the no thingness. This is the Hierophant card. So this is from nothing, everything is born, right? And from everything, nothing remains, you know? And so with the Hierophant card here, this is the act of teaching, from meditation, from understanding. In this card, it's about meditation. This is also about forming really alignment with your tribe. Now, that's been like a popular term in terms of, you know, metaphysics and spirituality. Find your tribe, find your flow, whatever. But the reality of this is that you are aligning within a set of people, with a group of people who have the same values as you do. And these are the people you want to look for. You want to look for those people that enable you. And then also listen to the criticism by the opposition. Listen to the people who are trying to, you know, pinpoint the things that are in some way not working in their eyes. Whether they're trying to hurt you or not, observe them in a detached manner. I feel as though you have a lot to learn from their criticism. Rather than turning away, really listen to what they're saying. I sense that for some of you, their criticism, I sense that the criticism is petty and oftentimes unnecessary. However, it's still information that you can use. And I feel as though this criticism is going to save you, Leo. This is a really channeled piece of information. You need to listen to the people who are criticizing you and your ambitions in love this year, because they're going to help you indirectly, maybe not even non-intentionally, help you identify the pitfalls that are before you, okay? So here is your next card, modifying the star. And so this is the Hanged Man. It's also called New Vision. So the world is pushing you into seeing. The world is pushing you into seeing something new. The world is pushing you into seeing some new perspective, some new opportunity. But that has to do from being restricted, from being able to actually physically change things. So I see that there's a certain degree of friction in your life this year about actually being able to move forward, in a particular direction. So I feel as though there is this, there's rules, and there's certain rules, and there's certain restrictions that are in some way indicative of the structural issues that you have to get over. So it's almost like somebody lives far away, or there's certain realities. Maybe you have kids and you have to contend with that. So it's not always necessarily negative things. They're just challenges that you have to get over. The next message is, So here we have Ceres, the goddess of nourishment. So this is the goddess of nourishment and taking care of nutrition, the goddess of cereal. And so therefore at this time in your private space, there's an emphasis on you to take care of yourself. And within cultivating that as a force of habit, not an exercise regimen, not a diet regimen, just a part of your life, you are in fact actualizing and aligning yourself with the perfect stream of consciousness associated with finding love, and then on this higher vibration of love, connecting and making that connection. The past and how it affects you. So let's have a look. The past is the lovers. So you've had an intense love relationship in the recent past. And I do feel as though this was the blueprint of what was coming to you. So this was a karmic relationship of the future. So karmic relationships don't always orient us to the past. Sometimes relationships from the past prepare us for the future, especially if there's a lover or a loved one that you weren't able to break away from necessarily. Or if there was a lover or a loved one who seemed as though they lingered and you wondered, why did they leave? They seemed like the ideal partner. Well, this card to me is saying that this person wasn't the ideal partner for you, that this person was your training wheels for the love that's about to come. And so in that relationship, you tapped into a high vibration of love. You tapped into this massive vibration of energy and positivity coming through, and it taught you certain lessons. It taught you to move in certain directions and to think things through in a certain way. And so now with all this knowledge and information, you are being guided towards the perfect partner, and that's being stirred by your feelings. I do have a vision right now, a channeled vision of the woman holding the heart, and she's looking straight at the star here. The star is ruled by Aquarius, so many of you Leos may find resonance with Aquarian people. And here in the Hierophant, we have an alignment with Taurus, so look for Taurus and Aquarius people to resonate with your feelings. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so therefore they could be very much your guidepost in this journey. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so expect the unexpected, breaking apart from the mold. Now, Leo and Aquarius isn't known to be a perfect match. However, there could be overlapping astrology. Don't worry about the square, just focus on the general energy. I feel a deep sense of love, a very happy heart, and uplifting mood and energy. The next message is, so here we have the Magician. This is about making your dreams come true, and you're coming off of a time when you pushed really hard towards making something come true, making something viable in your life. So this is really about being daring and really trying for to achieve something, really putting yourself out there over and over again, trying to manifest something. Now, as we know, when we put ourselves out there, there's a great chance of failure. If you have a feeling that a lot of Leos are feeling really tired right now, they've been really going altruistically at circumstances and situations, and now they have to contend with the fact that things don't always work out. Don't be discouraged. Now, I'm a monkey in the Chinese zodiac, and we're very friendly in terms of our Chinese astrology, but the one thing about monkeys that really resonates for me with this is we're discouraged really easily. So someone says something nasty to us, we bow our head and run away. That's a monkey thing to do. And so I feel as though this is what's happened for you a little bit. Not too much, because you're reattaining balance, but this is what you need to, in some way, work your way through as the present happens, because this is the past and how it's affecting the present. So I feel as though you've kind of put yourself out there, and I think that you were shot down to a certain degree, and it's up to you to just kind of shrug that off, find gratitude for that experience, say that wasn't that person, but I learned so much from that experience and I made that emotional connection. Here is the next message. So this is the world and completion. Maybe you've reached out beyond your community. You mix things up. Maybe you've already begun kind of coming out of your element to a certain respect. Maybe you've already tried to break apart from what you know. Maybe you've actually literally physically moved or went for a trip to a location that you didn't expect. If you have, all these things contributed to positive growth. Here's a really pretty piece of moldavite that I have. And so let's put this here for all the celestial journeys you have been so dashing and daring to pursue and explore. The oncoming influence here. So here we see the rebel. This is the Emperor card. So this is seeking structure and order. So far we've been looking at all these internal things that have been going on. There's an alignment of fairness. Now that fairness is happening around you as well. This is a wonderful year for you, Leo, to take on business activities. However, if you take on business activities, really do so with a light hand. Don't be too forceful. Don't be too aggressive. But you can even break out into a whole new field. You don't have to do what you did before. In fact, that's going to be very appealing for you now. Anything to do with following your heart, whatever your heart is accustomed to pursuing. This can also represent that the ideal partner is coming into your life, or you find yourself behaving like the ideal partner. So if you're a man, you could feel yourself really identifying with, being a husband and really finding security, looking back on the lessons that you have had, and then somebody's watching you as you're contemplating, so you're coming closer with that ideal woman. Or if you are in some way attracted to men, if you're a man or a woman, then maybe the Emperor is coming and they're watching your progress as you progress. And as you eat very healthy, make sure to eat healthy, make sure to eat clean, no crap, no sugar, no bullshit, right? And this person is observing this and they're appreciating this about you. And so this person is coming in, and they're coming in really fast, so you won't have to wait a long time for that to happen. So here is your next card. This is the modifier for the Emperor. And so we have the inner voice and the High Priestess, okay? So there's a certain degree of intuition about how things come in for you and when. There will be explicit signs and symbols that will be coming to you, and magic coincidences that will present themselves to be just non-coincidental, that will have a deeper resonance than just a simple coincidence, okay? And so here with the inner voice or the High Priestess, there's certain things that will vibrate for you way more intensely than others. I love this card. It has a crystal on it too. There you go. Lovely card. And so they'll be like, it's almost like whispers, like the things that, not auditory hallucinations, but like things around you are going to be happening that are going to be in some way really resonating for you in a very subtle way. And you yourself will feel that energy, and you will also be connecting with that energy or pursuant of that energy. If you're a man, or if you're kind of vibrating at the level of the Emperor, you may find yourself really drawn to oracles and mystics. The next modifier card is the Tower, which is an abrupt change of the status quo. I think this has to do with your own personality, this breach. I think you're having a personality shift, that there's a really strange and different way of thinking about things. I think that this woman holding a heart is in some way seeing this happen, and she's appreciating this about you. Either she sees that within herself, or she sees that within you. There's certain possibilities for certain Leos that you are involved in a relationship with a mystic. You are already involved in some type of very metaphysical connection. And then there's another person who is covetous of that relationship. This is the crazy part, and I don't usually condone any kind of extramarital affairs. I don't think that that's the healthy way to go. But I do think that this woman, who is not a mystic, she's a very normal, not that mystics aren't normal, but she's a very kind of hands-on, simple woman. She's not into metaphysics. If she is, then she just watches or observes. This is the person for you. It's not the person you're with. So please make sure that you are taking care of your partner at this time if there is someone else, or if you find out that there is someone else who you're drawn to. Okay? But I feel as though that if in that scenario, this relationship will be breaking down on its own anyway, and it will not have your interjection so much. This will not be up your making. You will not have to add fuel to the fire. It will have already in some way caused some type of turbulence, right? But I feel as though this is like an intense fascination. If you see, I'm consistently drawn to this one particular card. This fascination is like, I have to, it's a desire, it's a deep desire, and I think that it's quite exciting to see. I think that your whole year is actually framed around this love, so I think it's going to be a huge thing for you for your entire year, and it's going to be a significant year in your life. So here is the next message, and it's another token. So we see Chiron here. So the nature of your relationship, if your relationship with this mystic is breaking down, or if you're the mystic with the Emperor and your relationship is breaking down, you could actually go lesbian if you are in some way, maybe changing orientation. For some of you, that's true. As your regular relationship with your partner is breaking down, you could find yourself really attracted to a female partner. But the nature of the relationship, that the problem is Chiron. So we're seeing already what the challenge is. You keep hurting yourself by connecting with a person who is a good person. But when I do composite charts in astrology, it's not really about whether people are good or bad people. People with nice aspects can be horrible people, and people with really terrible aspects can be like the salt of the earth. So what it actually, how composites work and how compatibility works is, do the charts hurt one another? Or are they enforcing of one another's energy, right? So in this, when you apply it to the tarot, and when you kind of interconnect the energy, Chiron is saying that in a certain way, this somewhat positive relationship has a malady within it. And that does not necessarily mean that either partner needs to be healed. Remember, these are archetypes. So they're like really high vibrational match. And I do feel as though there's this relationship. And so I think it's really important for you to recognize, Leo, that this relationship, it may not be the fact that your partner is in some way flawed. It may not be that you are flawed. It may be just that the interconnection between your both energies is in some way provoking pain and suffering, in which case you have to make the decision if you're going to heal together or if you're going to choose to grow apart, and maybe you can connect with the woman who's holding the heart. This could, for some of you, be your daughter as well. And this is someone who's intently watching the interaction here. This is someone who is seeing your health grow and is deeply invested in this energy, deeply invested emotionally in this energy, right? So it could be a daughter as well who really wants both of you to break from this entwinement, this unhealthy pattern, and sees the potential and really wants to reinforce the potential and the growth. She doesn't have hate, and in certain respects there could be a coveting woman, but not for most of you, okay? But the core issue here is that the circumstance that you're about to deal with, that you have to find balance through, is something that is tapping into Chiron, which doesn't feel necessarily that good. So this is you in 2017. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's called change. And yeah, so far it looks like a lot of change, but the change doesn't have to do so far with the home. The change is alignment. In fact, if changes of home happened, it would have been in 2017 and in previous years, depending on how you structure your consciousness and awareness. So it seems as though those kinds of alignments and exploits or pursuits happened in before 2017. 2017 is alignment, right? Alignment within yourself and a pursuit of your natural ability towards hedonism. And change here is Jupiter, right? Jupiter is the wheel of fortune. It's in your 3rd house, but Jupiter goes into your 4th house on the 10th of October, 2017. The 4th house is home. So I suspect that this is going to really ramp up and hit a crescendo in October, okay? The next message is... So here we have Uranus. So again, the message is break free from the old and go for the atypical. Now I'm sensing that there is a lot of need for a gentle hand. There's a real need to not bash circumstances over the head with your intentions or your rule of law or your structures. It's important for you to go as gentle as possible. And I feel that things are temperamental in the sense that a lot of feelings are involved, a lot of sensitivities. People don't like change. This is not a popular card, right? Even though it's not a bad card. In certain respects, this is considered the house of the devil breaking down, because you have to think about the chronology of the tarot deck, right? So you have the devil, and then you have the house of the devil coming through and breaking down. So you're breaking down the structures that are not serving you. These aren't structures that are benefic for you. These are malefic structures that are affecting you at this time. And yes, sometimes it hurts to let go of things that especially we've grown accustomed to, but I think that it's for you, Leo, this year, it's there's no question involved. This is about your change in fortune for the better, and it's by doing things that you never thought were possible. It's by thinking outside of the box. Here is the next card. So we have courage here. This is the card of Leo. This is your card. Strength and lust. So expect Leos to come around a lot. Leo types, encouraging your strength and fortitude. Your friends will be seeking a lot from you in terms of exercise, and they want to go and be active and be really in the daytime. So that's a really good influence on you, giving you a lot of support. I feel as though this card is saying that throughout the whole year, there will be a lot of support coming to you and through you. There will be a lot of people reaching out. There will be a lot of people wanting to connect and bring hope into your circumstances in the world. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for transformation. There will be also consistency in your friendship relationships. So this is what could be also alienating for you at the same time, because if you're going through a certain degree of instability here, then the stability that your friends give can make you feel a little bit alone. But they have your best interests at heart. Here is another message. So we have the sun here. The sun rules Leo. So this is a strong reinforcing fact of the point that Leo people are going to be Leo people's best friend this year. I think that you guys are going to vibe together really closely, and I'm super stoked because my sun is in a Leo house, and as well as a lot of my other planets, so I'm really a Leo-esque Virgo, right? And so I'm super excited, but that means that Leo people are bonding with one another, and they're it's almost like being each other's pep squad, being each other's cheerleaders. It can be kind of annoying for people outside to see people who are like going after their dreams, people who are living within what their hedonistic intent is, such as what they love to do. That can annoy people, especially people who are not living in a happy way, people who are not living in the direction that makes sense to them. And maybe your partner or the person that has always kind of been the oversight of things in some way is feeling uncomfortable with your shift, with your necessity to go after what you want. And if that's the case, then maybe they're the one who is throwing restrictions in your face, and you have to really consider if that's the situation that will in some way help you, or is it hindering you? So here is the next card. So we have Beyond Illusion. This is the Last Judgment, transformation from one state to another, evolution, growth. And Beyond Illusion, you're moving past circumstances from one state into another. I think that this is in hopes and fears. Maybe you're afraid of what the possibilities are. I think that there's a certain sense of hesitancy because you're still really connected to this past experience that was in some way very formative, and you don't necessarily feel motivated or feel empowered to finally put your foot down. I think this is coming through again and again. Leo, are you putting your foot down? Are you truly drawing the line between the past and the future? Just because there wasn't a big tower here and a big blow up that removed that situation permanently and there was some type of drama going on, that doesn't mean that that situation was what you needed. And just because the situation was not bad does not mean it was good. And so I think it's important for you to be ready to embrace the new beginning. A part of you really hopes for a new beginning. That's what this is all about. You're continuing to hope to have a new vision. You're continually embracing the North Node, which is the star, which is the progress, right? Your destiny. So there is a part of you that really wants to go after that. Let's see what token I get when I... So I got Aries. So maybe that relationship from the past was an Aries. Or maybe it's just about that fresh new start. Aries is the youngest sign of the zodiac, right? So maybe Aries is that message. Aries is that maybe you're afraid of it, but you're also really yearning for it. Maybe try to find an Aries friend to help you cultivate that energy. Here is the next message. So here we have the Empress. And so with the Empress, we're talking about femininity, balance, motherhood, creation. Again, creation, right? Throwing your heart at the world. So maybe this is you, Leo. In which case, maybe, maybe there's some drastic shift and a breakthrough. Maybe you have the awareness that your husband is not necessarily the husband that you have been waiting for. Maybe you have the realization that he is not who you thought he was. Maybe you thought that he was the idyllic person, and then boom, you have the realization that in fact your misunderstandings about things have been holding you back. And so you push forward. And where is she pushing forward into? This heart. By the way, these little crystals around here, they're all moving all the time. So they're all shifting around from one place to another. And so suddenly this crystal is here, the rose quartz, and guess where she's going? Straight for the heart, right? So the Empress knows where to go. She knows you have to trust your biology. You have to trust your natural instincts, right? You have to be encouraged by the people and connect with that energy to go there. Here is a message for the Empress. So we have... Okay, so this is the North Node. I have another one that's for the South Node. So if you don't know astrology, the North Node is basically your destiny. It's aligned to exactly where you need to go, what your purpose is, what the general direction of your life is meant to be. And so again, touching base with yourself in a natural way and pushing forward in a new direction and trusting yourself that you will go in that direction. So the next 4 cards can be confusing because we have a northern and southern hemisphere. I'm going to be reading this for the northern hemisphere, but please, if you're in Australia, New Zealand, and South America or Africa, please try to adjust this for your seasons. So I will call this spring, this summer, this autumn, and this winter, but please adjust it for your time, for your seasons. It's not too specific. This coincides with the first few months, middle first few months, middle latter 2 months, a few months, and then the last few months. So it's not that complicated, okay? So here is a message for the beginning of the year. So we have past lives, the moon. So there's a trigger button here. Like you're suddenly like you have an inspiration and you don't know what's calling your name, but it's the North Node here at the end of it all. There's something, everything is happening this year for you for a reason. You're going through a transformation, and I think that that transformation is liberating you in a new direction. Let's see what's modifying the moon. Cancer. So you might have an interaction with a Cancer person, or Cancer values are really important for you. What are Cancer values? Well, they're stability, altruistic belief systems. Cancer is very oriented towards love as well. So Cancer rules the 4th house of home. And so these kinds of values of home, togetherness, love predominate in your year. And so here we have the Chariot at the center, motivating and moving and pushing you through circumstances. And the Chariot is ruled by Cancer. And also we have the moon. The moon rules Cancer in astrology, not the moon tarot card, but the moon orb. So we have this deep psychic connection. Now, you don't have to be psychic to understand what's going on. What it's actually saying is that within you, there's a certain clock that's going to get set off, and you're just going to automatically move through these circumstances, and they're going to bring you through from one situation to another. And at the end of the year, you're going to find yourself aligned with the North Node and be like, whoa, all this stuff happened. And the big message that still keeps ringing through, go after your love. Go after what you love. Go after what is important to you. Connect within yourself to your highest vibration. The next message is, so here we have the sun. So this represents the kind of middle months, the middle first months of 2017, after the initial few months. And so this is the summertime. And in the summer, we have the sun. This is predicting great happiness, sociability, enjoyment. It's almost moving from darkness into the light. I feel as though even though this circumstance was positive, I do think that you're moving from a darker place to a much happier place. And I think that that has to do with some of the things that you haven't been recognizing in the past, and you're starting to really take a look at them in 2017. And it's not like a big like drudgery. It's not like a big, sob fest, like this person did this to me, whatever. I think that you're actually motivated towards positive energies, and you're really motivated by positive vibrations and being, yes, I want this. Yes, I want this. I love all this stuff. Okay. Here is the next message for the love card. For the love card, the sun. See, I think it's happening for you in the summertime. So here we have, this is your sacral chakra, right? So the sacral chakra is all about drive, sex drive, right? So this is, the sacral chakra is ruled by Pluto, okay? So this is about deep internal psychologies that are driven, right? From your reproductive organs, right? And so the sacral chakra is this deep connection. I think that you're going to have one hot summer, Leo. And I think that it's going to be very much a triggering point further. I feel that this is your kind of, I don't know if you can see my fingers. This is going to be your philosophical trigger, or your metaphysical trigger. And this is going to be your sexual trigger. That's going to actualize real, physical, tangible connections in the real world. Really exciting stuff. Let's see what happens for you in the autumn, or in the latter middle 2 months. Transformation. Okay. Now, I don't know if after all this fornicating, some of you guys are going to get pregnant, but possibly some pregnancy there in the autumn. Transformation is changing of form. We have spirit transmutating, right? Transforming. So there is a certain degree of transformation. You activate, everything has to happen. It's going to happen in the fall, okay? I don't think we need to dwell on this too much. I think it's going to come in really quickly, and I think it's connected with the Tower card in this case. I do think that once you're presented with it, you're just going to go for it, and then you're going to fly into the next year, right? So here is your token for 2017. Ooh, you guys got a pretty crazy symbol. This is marriage. This is the symbol of marriage. I'm kidding you not. This is an actual symbol that represents marriage. So some of you may suddenly get married in the autumn, pretty exciting stuff. And then suddenly you are aligned with motherhood, right? And wifedom. Or maybe you find a wife and you marry that way. So I think that this is kind of a clean sweep year for you. If you're in a relationship, there's a good chance, I'm not trying to prophesize anything negative for people, but there's a good chance here that the relationship you're currently in is not the one that you're going to end up with. Okay? But that's not going to be a bad process. And definitely don't do karmically dirty stuff like cheating. That's not what I'm encouraging. Everything about this is holistic and loving and caring and nurturing, so don't go in the dark direction. Yeah? So this is your card for the winter time, the Fool, New Beginning. Okay? And I love when these cards come together, you know, the Death and then the Fool around the same area, just says that it's a transition point, a big transition point. What was in the past is in the past. You're moving into the future. And let's have a look and see what that message is. Jupiter. Jupiter's going to be in your 4th house of family and home. And Jupiter is astrologically, when you're reading the chart, Jupiter is the husband. And so this is really screaming at me, you know, lots of Leos are getting married in and around that time, or forming very serious common law relationships. If you don't want to form a common law relationship, not everybody wants to get married. Jupiter in the 4th house, you know, buying a home, buying property, possible. This is going to be a really wonderful time. And believe me, this Death here, I don't see a bad time for you this year. I think this is going to get hairy. You know, there'll be moments when you cry, sure, but it's, you know, out of 365 days, I'm thinking like maybe 363 days are going to be sunny. So you get like 3 cheat days where you can kind of cry your eyes out. I'll give you 12 days for PMS so that everyone can have a day a month to cry. For those of us who get it. Anyway. So I hope you guys have a great year. Cultivate everything gently. There's a lot of changes going on. If you are transitioning in a relationship, then please do so mindfully for the other people involved. This is the strong channel that I'm getting here is do not put down the partners that you have. Do not put down their qualities. Do not look down on them. Try to remind yourself of the positivity of that relationship and raise your vibration up, because you're the one who's going to be leaving someone else behind. And so as you are leaving someone else behind, you want to really make sure that you nurture them and that you protect them and their experience, right? So best of luck, Leos. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.